Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Subject Crypto. I am your host, Ethan, and today we got some big news. We got some big moves in the market. We still don't have an intro, and we'll probably get that tomorrow. Other than that, we're gonna jump right into it because this is pretty big. This is pretty big. So Bitcoin sitting down currently 4.28% since yesterday. Ethereum down even more, almost 7%. XRP 5. We got Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Litecoin, Bitcoin SV. Everybody's sitting down. Crazy percentages. Cardano, all of them like that. And honestly, we're going to talk a little bit about why this happens. Why does the market, why is it so intertwined like this? But to get into that, we're going to have to get into the next step, which is this. This little, if you notice here at the top, it could be pretty hard to see, but we have a candle here from yesterday, which is at the wick about 5.5%. I don't grab it exactly, but 5.5%, which is a significant amount when the asset is $12,000. It wasn't $12,000 when it happened, but we've dropped $500, $540-ish in the last 24 hours. It's pretty nuts. And we're going to talk about why this happened, or not really why it happened, but what's going to happen because of it. And it's pretty important, and I can't say important enough, but we have broken this trend line of support, and we are currently headed down. And that's pretty obvious, but what is this going to do? Okay, so we're looking at the VPVR, which I added on the last video, and there's not much volume in these areas, so that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to continue downward, but there's nothing really supporting us in that phase. So if we continue downward, there's not much supporting us. The big thing that I would take away from this, or that I am taking away from this, is this 50-day moving average. We're still above it. So technically, we still are in a bull trend. But we broke this line. And honestly, let's check something out here. Okay, if we go by the wick, then we are still good. But the previous placement of my line is not good. So it really depends. The next 24 hours is going to be very critical about the price action, and it's a little uncertain. So maybe how is everybody feeling about their trades? I mean, are you guys gonna sell? Are you gonna buy more? I mean, I might buy more just because you buy every time it dips, but that's not financial advice, just simple discussion. So the takeaway, not much volume down here, actually very little volume in this region, so could slip a little bit further. We are still above the 200-day and the 50-day moving average, which is good. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. This is my takeaway. The stochastic RSI is looking to be maybe flipping. It's crossed a few times. Here, let's get it a little bit bigger. Okay. It was flipped to return bullish, but it looks like it might flip bearish again. But also, the squeeze momentum indicator is also flipped bearish. So, what could these mean? Who knows? I don't know. I just look at them and I depict what I believe it means. We could have a little bit more prolonged range in here, but also we might have a small one like this. We're too big to have a small one like that already, but it could look something very similar to this, and this is very healthy still, like according to these indicators, not necessarily the trends on the chart, but overall stick with it. It's not the end of the world yet. It's just very, very insane. Insane. So I'm actually going to start thinking more about this channel that I have just spotted. I actually haven't just spotted it, but I'm just implementing it now. So this right here is going to be what we're watching now. We're even going to put like a little mid channel in here, which this came into play very much so back in, when did this happen? I think I was watching this channel right here. I did the same kind of channel analytics of the 3 lines, one in the middle, one on the top, one on the bottom. It worked out pretty well. So going on to why other cryptocurrencies dip so much harder. And honestly, it's very simple. Now, let's take Ethereum, for instance. Doesn't really matter where, but so this is the price of it via Bitcoin. That's how much Bitcoin you have to pay for it. So, if Bitcoin decreases and people also sell it off, so you sell it off for less, and then you also, the thing that you're selling it for goes down in price as well. That's a 2-for-1 combo on the decrease of the price. So Bitcoin may go down 5%, but Ethereum went down an extra 2% on top of that, just because it's also at this subject of Bitcoin, because most exchanges use Bitcoin as the medium of exchange, kind of like the reserve between the currencies that they exchange. So that's why that happens. It also has the reverse effect when the price increases, so people are paying more for it, and the price of Bitcoin is also increasing. So then they take this and if you look at the USD pairing, it also directly affects that as well. We're looking at 10% on the USD compared to the price of Bitcoin. So the USD is going to be a little bit more than the Bitcoin pairing in terms of price drop, or at least it should be. Yes. See, because it's a comparison between the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin also drops in price. So you have to count that in for it too. So if you do trade, that's why they price everything in Bitcoin, because it's kind of a little less. When I started trading, I was like, why do people look at the Bitcoin comparative? It doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to gain wealth in versus the US dollar, and that makes complete sense. But it's important to kind of look at this in this sense on the Bitcoin comparative, because I realized that how it does perform versus Bitcoin is very important as well. And then, I also kind of got a little lazy, and I was just like, well, if Bitcoin goes up, the price goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, the prices go down. But it's a little bit more intricate than that. So that is everything I wanted to discuss today. It was a little bit of a wake-up call, and I'm hoping to get this video out a little bit earlier than normal. And I hope that tomorrow, my goal is tomorrow to have an actual intro and an outro, and yeah. So thank you all for tuning in today. I hope wherever you are that it's a wonderful day. The weather here is going to be hot And tomorrow it's going to be even hotter. It's going to be like 100 and some degrees. It's currently probably like 2 million degrees. But other than that, I hope everybody's doing great. And I love you. And peace out, bro. And broettes.